darts, dark inspiration of iron times, wetting the toil of toiling climes, shedding the blood of bloodless crimes. Down I lower in the blue, up I tower toward the true. I am the Smoke King, I am black. I am the Smoke King, I am black. I am darkening with song, I'm hearkening to wrong. I will be black as blackness can, the blacker the mantle, the mightier the man. My purpling midnights no day dawn may ban. I am carving God in night, I am painting hell in white. I am the Smoke King, I am black. I am the Smoke King, I am black. I am cursing ruddy morn, I am nursing hearts unborn. Souls unto me are as mists in the night. I whiten my black men, I beckon my white. What's the hue of a hide to a man in his might? Hail then, grilly, grimy hands. Sweet Christ, pity toiling lands. Hail to the Smoke King, hail to the black. So that was it.
Yeah!
Thank you. Couple more for you guys.
Sure, man.
So this one's called Until They Have Stopped. And it is by, doesn't even say who it's by, but it's dedicated to Paul Robson Sr. Until they have stopped. Until they have stopped glutting me with slop from the kitchen's garbage to make fat profit of me like a hog. Until they have stopped slitting my throat like the defenseless animals in the near Christmas time killing for the Christmas feast. Until they stop the knife which in my tenderest years I had learned to anticipate. Until they stop the bloodletting, the blood purging, and the joyful shouts over the slaughter for the feast, exultantly saying in many ways, she has borne enough pigs that will grow up to be hogs for the next year's feast. Until they have stopped my mother of Christ, I will not desist from saying no. Until they have stopped standard branding me on the television and radio with the junk of how a real he-man is, one who prefers the blondest, less gray hair type of women. One who sails a speedboat going up too many fast miles an hour, while smoking a famous name brand cancer-producing cigarette. And a real she-woman is one who adores the sexual cell, loves nothing better than running a home with brainless effortlessness, while indulging herself in a profusion of useless commodities and purring like a little tiger kitten. Until they have stopped my earth, my people, I will not desist from saying no. Until they have stopped filling my lungs with tear gas in Alabama, USA, and vomiting gas in Vietnam, knowing that to rob a person of will is to rob them of life. Until they have stopped disgracing the languages of the peoples of this globe by calling these murderous attacks humane and out war deterrent activity. Until they have stopped this assault to my natural intelligence, I will not desist from saying no. No to the would-be destroyers of my mother's milk, full of earth and determination and broken fingernails, hurting to the quick from digging and groveling and making this and that do when she knows by the standards of her Christ nothing else would do except a more equitable distribution of the wealth of this earth. Until they stop the necessity of millions of mothers all over this earth from having to feed children on fairy tales as a substitute for food. Until they stop, I will not desist from saying no, for no fairy tale will do when the belly bleeds from the claws of hunger. No fancy hairsprays will do when the body is aging or frightened from economic illness unattended. Nothing will do but another borning of humanity, a clean new day free of degrading wars against the working people of this earth, a tomorrow lit by the suns of peace and the stars of constructive human achievement. Nothing will do except the coming of a time for love, for the spirit of Paul Robson, for the hollowed spirit of the great man Robson. Nothing but a time for love. That's it. You guys are way too kind, so. Okay, I'll read one more. Where is it? Free beer? Pardon?
Free beer.
Grad samples. Anybody?
There was a free beer during while the war was being read.
Yeah. Oh, I like this one. This is by Helen Johnson. She's born 1907. It's called Bottled, New York. Upstairs on the 3rd floor of the 135th Street Library in Harlem, I saw a little bottle of sand, brown sand, just like the kids make pies, out of down at the beach, but the label said, this sand was taken from the Sahara Desert. Imagine that, the Sahara Desert. Some bozo's been all the way to Africa to get some sand. And yesterday, on 7th Avenue, I saw a Negro dressed fit to kill, in yellow gloves and a swallowtail coat and a twirling cane. And everyone was laughing at him. Me too. At first, till I saw his face. When he stopped to hear an organ grinder grind out some jazz, boy, you should have seen that fellow's face. It just shone. Gee, he was happy, and he began to dance. No Charleston or Black Bottom for him, no sir. He danced just as dignified and slow. No, not slow either, dignified and proud. He couldn't call it slow. Not with all the cutting up he did. You would have died to see him. The crowd kept yelling, but he didn't hear. Just kept on dancing and twirling that cane, and yelling out loud every once in a while. I know the crowd thought he was cuckoo. But say, I was where I could see his face. And somehow I could see him dancing in the jungle, a real honest-to-goodness jungle. And he wouldn't have on the trick clothes, those yellow shoes and yellow gloves, and swallowtail coat. He wouldn't have on nothing, and he wouldn't be carrying no cane. He'd be carrying a spear with a sharp fine point, like the bayonets we had over there. And the end would be dipped in some kind of hoodoo poison, and he'd be dancing black and naked and gleaming. And he'd have rings in his ears and on his nose and bracelets and necklaces of elephant's teeth. Gee, I bet he'd be beautiful then, all right. No one would laugh at him then, I bet. Say, that man that took that sand from the Sahara Desert and put it in a little bottle on a shelf in the library, that's what they done to this dancer, ain't it? Bottled him up, trick shoes, trick coat, trick cane, trick everything. All glass, but inside, gee, that poor guy. Thanks, all. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your night.